8,000 feet above sea level, in the misty mountains of Oaxaca, Mexico, lies a sleepy little town called San José del Pacífico, a place that's famous for its naturally grown psychedelic mushrooms. Obviously, I'm here for the shrooms. Not just the psychedelic kind, but obviously the psychedelic kind. I'm here as a continuation of a personal project that I started back in Canada called the Mushroom Challenge, where I learned to identify 100 mushrooms in 100 days. If you watched my last video, you could probably tell that I didn't end up continuing to forage during the winter because obviously there was barely any mushrooms. But you know what? We're here now, and so are the mushrooms. So let's get this adventure started. I love how there's just people who sell mushrooms to you on the side of the street here. It's just so chill. And they're the freshest you could find anywhere. I heard from a friend back in Puerto Escondido that there's a guy who owns a tattoo shop named The Wizard, and he would be the best person to talk to find mushrooms. You know, every good adventure starts with meeting a wizard.
Hi, I'm Gene. People call me the Wizard because I'm a doctor in mycologist and I know everything about mushrooms. See?
No. This little brown one?
Yes, the little brown. Yes, this is the species that people here call corralito. It's an eatable. Many people use this mushroom for made a kind of scheme with the people selling these mushrooms in honey.
Oh, a scam.
A scam.
Yeah.
And they sell these mushrooms in honey, telling the people that is cubensis. That is nothing.
It's corralitos?
Corralito.
How do you know?
Because the shape of the head, the color. Sometimes they have this kind of a nipple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a nipple.
and this, yeah.
And then the bottom.
Yeah, and the bottom is yellow.
But it looks similar to cubensis.
To know if that mushroom is what you are looking for, you have to touch a mushroom because the mushroom have a reaction.
Uh-huh.
The mushroom is brown, a little bit brown, and when you touch the mushroom, immediately turn in blue.
Uh-huh.
So that's the fact that is telling you that is the right mushroom.
Okay.
Because in the same area when these mushrooms grow, grow parasite mushrooms that looks exactly like the good ones. But when you touch these mushrooms, don't have reaction. This is the really bad ones.
These are the bad ones.
The bad ones. This is a toxic mushroom with a high level of toxicity. You see? The bottom?
There's pores, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but this is not the same kind of cells that is in the other kind that you see the cells.
Uh-huh.
The cells are here in the center of the stipit. This part of the mushroom, the name is stipit.
Yeah, the stipe.
Yep. And here is the cells. They kill you. They destroy all the mitochondria.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
The mitochondria?
Yeah, of every cell of your body. So this means that you are working with your emergency energy. And you have energy for 3 days. This means that you're gonna die by
Exhaustion.
Yeah.
How can a mushroom sense that you're approaching?
Depending the kind of mushroom, only the entheogenic mushrooms have that quality to feel the sense of approach. You contrast with the plants?
Yeah.
Yes, it's conscious.
If psychedelic mushrooms can enhance our own consciousness, does that mean that they are conscious?
They give us in some way the component for develop the conscious system, because the conscious is a system. When that spore falls there and was the perfect place, it's absolutely white.
Was early Christianity a psychedelic mushroom cult?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, exists. When Moses go and find the burning bush, some people said it was a miracle. But the reality is that this guy, before to go up to the Ararat, he ate something that put so high that everything that he speaks is just a psychedelic experience. There's no contact with God and something like this, because God, in reality, if it exists like the classic idea, he's playing golf, surrounded of a lot of beautiful women with a chart with whiskey and all the substance that you can imagine, and he never listened. I hope that God help me. God is not gonna come. No. He's playing golf.
Oh, tough break there, Jesus. Yep. Or was it? Whoop, 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 whoop. Booyah!
So the real God is a mushroom.
Yeah.
The neighboring town of San Mateo had a mushroom festival going on the week we visited, so we checked out the varying ways locals used edible mushrooms. We also gathered in a truck and drove to the forest to go on a mushroom hunting hike. Our guide didn't know nearly as much about mushrooms as the wizard did. It was more of a, hey, look at this cool mushroom adventure. Which, fair enough, there's so many mushroom species out there, even I could barely identify them.
Estos son hongos de psicodélicos. Cuando los conservas en miel sí tienen la misma potencia, porque la sustancia no se evapora, se va a la miel. ¿Han visto los hongos en miel? Sí. La sustancia es negra, la miel ya se torna en negro o azul, azulito así oscuro. Y la miel ya no es espesa, se aguada. Como impacto el turismo extranjero, en el sentido de los hongos, por ejemplo, ellos tienen más conocimiento, tienen más conocimiento de las especies, de las sustancias que contienen, entonces eso hizo que empezaran a recolectar mucho más que la población local.
There's mushrooms, there's tourism and need space means logging means there's no more forest. Logging, the mushrooms, the people is destroying the land, is building for every place, so the problem is not indeed the tourism, it's the way that the people think. The pretext for this way to think is the mushrooms.
Whether or not you're coming to San Jose to do psychedelics, a temazcal is definitely an experience that you should include in your trip. Temazcal is a traditional sweat lodge. You basically enter this thing that looks like a giant pizza oven, and you spend the next hour and a half just breathing in aromatherapy fumes and cleansing your body. It's a great way to purify before taking psychedelics or just reconnecting with yourself. The temazcal shape is supposed to symbolize the womb, so it's a form of rebirth, and when you exit out of the pussy, you're going to be a whole new person. Right, gatito? And we're rebirthed. That was intense. I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but Cabañas La Cumbre is like being in a labyrinth fairy tale on the side of a mountain. So I don't know if YouTube's gonna like this, but I kind of want to share what an actual psychedelic mushroom trip is like. Normally, I like to do it out in the woods by myself because I like to be really connected with nature, but it's cold and rainy, so inside the cabin it is. It's probably a better idea too if you don't know what you're doing or you're taking a lot of mushrooms to not be somewhere with a lot of hazards. So I'm just gonna be tripping in bed. There's actually a lot of people I've met at this hostel that have come here to try shrooms for the very first time. And it's very interesting to hear how scared they are, how they hear all these like horrible things. And don't get me wrong, psychedelic mushrooms, they're no joke. Like they can fuck you up. But I think what people don't realize is it's not here to hurt you. It's here to help you and to heal you and to show you how you can grow if you decide to use it in that kind of way. When things come up, when it starts getting scary, when your ego is dying, just breathe through it and know at the other side of that fear and at the other side of that death comes the purest form of love and awareness and curiosity. Like that's where you start thinking in ways that you normally don't think. And that's why I take mushrooms. This time I'm taking some of the freshest I've ever seen. Like it still has the dirt on it because you don't want to wash it, That'll wash some of the psychedelic components off of it. A great thing to do when you're beginning your trip is to write some intentions. Why are you doing this? What would you like to learn about yourself? What would you like help with? What would you like to connect to? You'll find that during your trip, the mushrooms will help you find the answers to that question. Has a citrusy aftertaste. So there's this thing called the stoned ape hypothesis. I first heard about it, I think, in the Fantastic Fungi movie. The theory basically states that the evolution of human consciousness was quite an abrupt event. In terms of evolutionary succession, it doesn't make sense for how quickly it came about, allegedly. Our ancient hunter-gatherers at the time, they followed herds of roaming animals, and those animals took shits, and in those shits were mushrooms, the psychedelic kind. And so a couple of our ancestors decided to try that. When those humans ate those mushrooms, that is what provoked consciousness as we know it. That is when we saw an explosion in cave paintings, in art, in sculptures, in the idea of burying the dead. Because we ate those mushrooms, the theory goes, we became conscious, as we currently are. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that sounds pretty good to me.
It's been over an hour and a half, and I still wasn't feeling anything yet, so I contemplated taking more shrooms. Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? In the end, the thought of taking more made me sick, so I decided against it. That's when the trip really started.
Bienvenidos, estamos aquí en la granja de hongos, las Doenbei. Este es el cuarto de inoculación. Tenemos chitaques, tenemos melena de león y tenemos enoquitaques. Es un proceso que hay que cuidar cada paso, delicado y requiere mucha atención.
El bosque tiene una cierta capacidad de producción, por así decirlo, produce una cierta cantidad de hongos. Llega un momento en el que la cantidad de hongos que hay pues no es suficiente y el cultivo pues es una alternativa que sí puede suplir esa demanda, ¿no? Aquí no los cultivamos, ¿no? Esa es medicina, no por el momento al menos. Creo en las propiedades medicinales de todos los hongos, en los beneficios que los hongos traen a la gente. Estas sustancias pueden hacernos tener unos desarrollos, unas conexiones neuronales, un desarrollo espiritual también que no es fácil de explicar científicamente, pero que se está comprobando su efectividad.
If you decide to come to San José del Pacífico, come for more than just the psychedelic mushrooms. Come visit because you want to experience this mystical mountain town in its entirety. Come explore the luscious forests and get to know the other mushrooms that grow around here too. Most importantly, come with an open and conscious mind. Realize that your actions have an impact far greater than your own backyard. So travel responsibly.